Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and so right now it's not mimicking anything, but we can change that. Because I was planning to do a high damage fire-based run, and if you haven't already seen the starting relic, that's right baby, we're doing pure fire. Because I have not seen the effect that Neve's Ruby offers. So I am very interested in how this is going to work out. And of course there are always some interesting things to talk about along the way. There, and we're going to pay you 200, or you're going to pay me 200 for some of my gems. Alright, and obviously we're going to want to get burning furnaces out of the way first. Let's do this. No, level 3 is going to be a pain. Oh, man. Alright, well, that is A-okay. That just happens sometimes. Alright, so the goal, of course, is going to be to try to get the upgrade to Bouncing Blaze as soon as possible. Ow. And we're going to try to use Flare Rush as best we can. It's been a while since I've used Flare Rush, so I'm hoping that I don't just completely blow chunks with it. And as I've said in the past, I really like Fractal Flare. Like, why do I like Fractal Flare so much? Well, one, because it's really good at controlling space, and two, it's got a really short cooldown. Like, I think that's one of the things that they actually designed Fractal Flare to do, was to have a really short cooldown. So that you could just spam it and keep enemies in place. And I really like it for that. I think it's fun. Okay, so no other Fire Arcana, but we can at least upgrade Flare Rush. So now it's got 5 fireballs. Oh yeah. So, some of you may already be aware of the recent interview that was done with Eurogamer and one of the directors of the FIFA series. And I was just reading over that article myself because I had watched a couple of videos on that interview, and I was thinking, there's no way this guy basically just said what he said. And well, the only one I don't want is that. But tell you what, I'll take it anyway, just for fairness. That's right, we've got all the candy. See, now it's even more imperative that we get the upgrade for Bouncing Blaze. Because now we have every reason to want to spam. There you go. Give me a fire. Ah, you suck. You know what? I'll grab it just for stun value, but in the long run we want all fire because we're trying to activate Neve's Ruby. Not anything I need to tell you guys, but hey. I guarantee there's at least some contingent of people out there going, "What are you taking my stunner for, man? Don't leave us hanging!" grab Yuffie's shawl. Alright, cool. Move on like that. Beautiful. Don't you just love that burning sensation? Oh yeah! If you haven't read the article of that interview, I'll put a link to it in the description below because it's worth a read. But when pressed on the issue of why these pay-to-win microtransactions are in FIFA in the first place and the effect that it has on the game, I'm pretty sure our boy slips up and says something along the lines of, yeah, kids shouldn't be spending money on our microtransactions, full stop. And he is of course being grilled about the microtransactions in FIFA's Ultimate Team. Which of course translates to, Madden's Ultimate Team mode, and the idea that even though they've said something along the lines of, oh, we're not going to put loot boxes and microtransactions in these games, they still do it with Madden, they still do it with all of their EA Sports titles, actually. And why is that? Because one of the most appealing things about a game like that is building your team. I mean, wasn't that one of the things that we liked the most about games like Mario Strikers and even the Mario baseball games? That, I don't know, I remember them fondly, but there might have only been one, by the way, I could be wrong about that. But that was one of the things that I liked the most, was building my team. But let's just use Super Mario, like the soccer one. I guess football as it's known everywhere else in the world, as it kind of fucking should be, because that's actual football. What Americans call football is not fucking football. But Darkseid, aren't you an American? Don't you think it's football? I mean, it's not a ball. The only thing you're using your feet for is running, and it's more akin to battlefield strategy, which is fine. There's nothing saying that there shouldn't be a game like that where you're essentially mimicking battlefield strategy in order to make it from one side of the field to the other in order to, simulate having a strategic advantage in warfare, I guess? I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't watch football, so I'm not entirely sure what the idea behind it is, aside from, big men smack each other. And that just kind of seems to be what the appeal is just two big slabs of man meat just kind of going... That to me seems to be what football is. American football, I should stress. I do like the idea of this pewter bracelet. So again, take that for what it's worth, but this is a voice of reason from the United States saying that what Americans call football ain't goddamn football. I'm not much of a sports person to begin with, but if you're gonna have a sport, at least make it so that it's named consistently with the activity that you're doing. American football should be called like battle ball or something, which I think is the idea behind what Vince McMahon wanted to do with the XFL, and that failed miserably. Wallet of Vigor is probably a good idea, and so is the Token of Health. But before I buy the Wallet of Vigor, let me see if I'm even going to need it first. Iris, why aren't you selling me fire-based arcana or helping me upgrade what I already have? What's wrong with you? Why are you asking that question, Dark Sage? You know perfectly well why she isn't helping you. Okay, unless something changes particularly quick, this whole Neve's Ruby thing is probably just gonna go up in flames. Teehee. I made a pun! God, I hate Crush Colossus so much. Alright, here's hoping something changes on the next floor. And I mean the floor after the boss fight with Zeal, because I know I'm probably not going to get anything from Zeal. Or maybe I will. Maybe I will. I already told you guys I have an incredibly immature mind. Ow. Bam! Alright. I guess you really can fight fire with fire. Oh, I'm a dork. Alright, now our build is going to be super effective, and then on the next floor it's going to go right back to being kind of dog shit, but oh well. Hopefully by then Neve's Ruby will be active and we can essentially tell Freya and all of her moves to eat shit. Now, the whole football tangent aside, I think what's interesting is that what got, I think it's Chris Bruzzo, the executive at EA, to just finally say that, yeah, kids shouldn't be spending money on FIFA Ultimate Team packs full stop, is the idea that the guy interviewing him, and I'm sorry, I don't know his name, I just know that this is what he was doing, was just grilling him, because he was really going into the tough questions about, you know, why should we spend money on these FIFA Ultimate Team packs? Dude Man was coming up with all the excuses, like, oh, we wanted to simulate real-world football, and in real-world football you can spend money to build a team. It's like, yeah, but you're not doing it super randomized like you are with FIFA Ultimate Team packs. Like, in the real world, if you want to build a team, you just go to the team's manager and talk to them directly. But that's not what happens here. It's, you know, it's super gamified, so why are you saying, and he keeps doubling down on that, saying like I don't know why you're making such a big deal about this. This is just for the realism of football. Like, I don't know whose realism you're talking about. Like, he even went into saying something along the lines of oh, but you know, 9 out of 10 FIFA Ultimate points packs are purchased with in-game coins, and 78% of players don't spend a dime on the game. It's like, there may be some truth to that, but it doesn't change the fact that you can spend real-world money on the game. The option is open. That's what we have a problem with. And then he doubles down, he's like, but it's a minority of players, it's just player choice. And I'm sitting here reading that article going, did the players get a choice to have the progression slowed down did the players get a choice to have everything be super randomized and essentially have all of you lie to their faces? Did we have a choice to turn every part of the gameplay into essentially a super slog so that we couldn't get what we actually wanted? Alright, we're taking Fractal Flare. We're taking Raging Inferno. I don't like Flame Seekers, but, I mean, we might have to. So, he is, and all the interviewer had to do was essentially keep repeating the question, or the idea of, yes, we know that it's a minority of players actually doing this, but the option is there, and that's what we're contesting, is that there shouldn't even be an option. We should just be able to earn things in-game. Why is that such a hot point of contention? And we all know the real reason is because it affects EA's bottom line. Stop. It's because it's their greatest source of revenue, and we all know that. I believe the revenue that they made from microtransactions, and definitely including those in, you know, FIFA and Madden Ultimate Team modes, made up a collective like $1.2 billion. Like, that is legit where most of their income is from. That is their cash cow. That's their big revenue maker. So even though that practice is being heavily investigated by multiple governments and associations, they are doing everything they can to save their precious cash cow, including making up excuses and downright lying about it. And let's be fair, at the end of the day, I know that video games are video games are a business and you need to make money, but it doesn't need to be at the expense of your integrity or of the game itself. Let's see. So I'm thinking either Surefire Rocket or Curse Eater's Watch, and right now I'm leaning towards Surefire Rocket. Actually, before we grab that, let's go ahead and clear this out. Oh yeah! Alright, so now let's go ahead and buy the Surefire Rocket. We've got the Wallet of Vigor to essentially allow us to use some health to purchase it. Then we will give you the token. Ooh, critical placebos. Hey, why not? Anything to boost my damage. So everyone say thank you to Dr. Song for being such a good and helpful person. I mean, she is a doctor. She took an oath. Ow. By the way, as much as I love the controller that I'm using, the super sensitive D-pad issue has come up in a lot of games that I've been playing. It comes up in this game frequently. It's been coming up a lot in Legend of Zelda Randomizer, Past Randomizer, and I also, not for some reason, it's one of my favorite game series, but I've been playing Mega Man Mega Man 2 and 3, and the issue has come up there pretty heavily in that I'm having a hard time aiming things properly because I keep getting essentially screwed by a super sensitive up input. So, if any of you guys know of a good controller that I can use on my PC in order to help at least alleviate that problem a little bit, I would be thankful for any sort of lead I can get. But now let's get back to the point in question. So, after a little while of just continuing to repeat the point and essentially belaboring this process, eventually he just says, look, kids shouldn't be spending money on our game pack, on our Ultimate Team packs, full stop. Now, this is an EA exec that said that, and the only reason why he said that was because he was just getting grilled and couldn't think of another response. I missed. So, if you want someone to answer a tough question, just keep asking the same question in a different way. I guess this is nothing new for many of us, especially any of us who have ever had younger siblings, which, to be fair, I haven't. Beautiful. Alright, so we are definitely buying the Bouncing Blaze upgrade. Now we can... Okay, so I see one problem in that he might take Flame Seekers instead of Raging Inferno. So now what I should do... I mean, and ultimately, I don't even really like Flame Seekers all that much. And they're not terrible, don't get me wrong. But what I want is to be able to keep fairy. 2 fairies. I'm sorry, nothing else matters. I will accept the pain if it means helping my Sylvan brethren. Wait, brethren? Dark Sage, are you a fairy? You didn't hear it from me. Shh. Alright, so I might just have to take a gamble and see if he takes the right one. And I had Raging Inferno for longer, so by all rights he should take it. But I know my luck. But let's see if things work out the way I have planned. Sir, you may have my Raging Inferno. Oh good, he did take it. Alright, so we now know that... Ah, man. Okay, well, let's look at it this way. Take that, because that's going to be effective against the twins. Well, I'm not even going up against twins, I'm going up against Freya. That'll be effective against Freya. And there we go. Now, let's go ahead and spend the 25 gold and 75 life. Actually, no, let's put a hold on that. There we go. So now let's go ahead and grab Raging Inferno back. Here we go. Wallet of Vigor is coming in super useful. No more Cherry 7-Up. Owie. Excellent. Alright, we only need one Fire Arcana. We're not going to get it here. Alright, no worries. Hopefully we'll get it on this floor. Because I would love to see the aura that you get from Neve's Ruby. So, to me, that one line of saying kids shouldn't be buying our FIFA Ultimate Team packs full stop, like, that to me is damn near an admission of guilt. Like, EA, and let's be fair, we've all known this for a while. EA knows what they're doing. They know that it's not the majority of players buying their shitty packs. It's the player, but what it is that the players that do spend absurd, gratuitous amounts of money on it. Like, what they're really looking for is that small percentage of players that they liken to sea mammals called whales. That's what they're looking for. And it's not a majority of the players. It's like, what, maybe 1% of their player base? I'm smart. Ha! Love it. And you might be wondering, well, if everyone knows that, then how do they keep getting away with their scummy business practices? And that is because, essentially, the rule of law as far as gambling is concerned hasn't caught up with with online activity and infrastructure, which is a big part of what's being addressed in different governments right now, is how do we update the wording of the law in order to catch up with the idea that this is being exploited. Because, yeah, how gambling works online, and especially in video games, is a good deal different from how it's defined in actual casinos. So what they do is they make it so that the money that you put in can't be cashed out for directly for cash. And by that small little, what I would call a distinction without a difference, which is another something that's used in the article when the interviewer is questioned about, well, why are you making such a big deal about this? We're not all. I don't want that. like you're coming after by that. You're coming after us, the people developing the games, and telling them that they're doing something bad. And he's like, this has nothing to do with the developers. This has to do with the decision makers. And that's where Bruzo says, a distinction without a difference, if you ask me. It's like, no, it makes a huge difference. Because the people on the ground level who are essentially being pushed into doing things like working 12 to 16-hour days without overtime pay, or being treated like decent human beings who have families and lives that they'd like to return to, like that sort of thing. Hun, you really gotta give me another Fire Arcana. What's wrong with you? I'm not even gonna use Flame Seekers. Ugh, it's frustrating. But it is something that I had a pretty good idea was going to happen. Wow, I don't even know what I would do with that. But if I'm stuck with 6 Fire Arcana and 1 Electric Arcana, I guess it'll have some use. I'd also like to point out that when the whole idea of especially the Belgian council getting together and going, yeah, dude, this is gambling. Like, they flat out just decided they would rather break the law than lose out on their precious cash cow. Hello. What do we have here? Do I have more than 1 cursed relic? No, I don't, so I'm gonna grab that. There we go. So, no, Chris, it is not a distinction without a difference. The people in the higher up positions are the ones making the decisions, and the people higher up on the chain, I should say. And the ground floor devs are basically doing what they're told because, if they don't, you're going to hurt their career. I love the line that they keep using about, oh, no one's forcing them to work like that, no one's holding a gun to their head. It's like, yeah, you might not be holding a literal gun to their head, but again, we're not talking about things in a very literal fashion. The metaphorical gun to the head of you're going to do this or your career is going to suffer is generally enough to make most people fall in line, because hey, you still have to provide for yourself and your family, right? And yes, I know we're supposed to be talking about the sale and consumption of microtransactions, but if you ask me, that's part and parcel to the conversation. She still doesn't want to sell me, I'm going to break your stuff. I'm trying to be nice to you, and you are not being nice back. I mean, think about it. All these live service games have to be continually updated and have to continuously have new content brought to the table in order to keep people engaged with the product. You know, they can't just be playing a game, they have to be engaged with the product. There we go. Beautiful. God, can't even get anything from the boss fight. Alright, so this may very well be a wasted Neve's Ruby run. Where, you know, we'll only actually have the Ruby for... At most, we're gonna have it for one fight now. You know, unless I do another loop. Which, yeah, I could, make no mistake. I'm just not sure I want to tonight. You know, full stop, it is right around midnight as I'm finishing this recording. And, yeah. Complete waste. So, in case any of you ever think... oh, I'm gonna get the... get the mono element run by the time I'm done. This will be a piece of cake. Iris probably has other plans for you. Come on, buddy. Knockback there was a bitch. There we go. Alright, well, it was an attempt at a Neve's Ruby run, and I'll probably try again in the near future, but... You know, again, take this lesson to heart. Sometimes there's just no pleasing RNGesus, and Iris, as his most faithful and prolific avatar, aside from the Desire Sensor and Monster Hunter, will tell you, you pay your homage to RNGesus, or he will taketh what he proclaimed to giveth. So like I said, I will put a link to that Eurogamer article in the description below so you can have a read over just how much bullshit gets spewed forth from EA execs on the daily, as well as how easy it is to break them in their silly little bullshit. that having been said, thank you guys very much for watching. I do very much appreciate your continued support. Drop me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, tell others about my channel, because I am trying to diversify my content, and even though Wizard of Legend is definitely what's, top on the list, there are definitely other games I've been thinking about playing for the channel, like I already play Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past Randomizer. I've been thinking about Bloodstained Ritual of the Nights Randomizer because I just plain love that game. Any other games you guys think I should play more of? Maybe I should get back into Skull the Hero Slayer or Undermine. Whatever you guys think, comment below, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I will be seeing you